I can't sit back as a winner and sit back and enjoy this time of torment. I can't sit back and enjoy and watch the people of God being persecuted. I can't sit back and enjoy and watch people's lives be messed up and not have any peace in their own homes, not have any peace in their lives, not have any peace anywhere they go. I can't sit back and watch this happen. I come to ask you today, is that your mindset to where you can't sit back and watch the people of God be talked about? You can't sit back and just watch people be used, be misled. You can't sit back and watch people be abused by their pastors. You can't sit back and watch this happen. So now if I ask you that question and you say yes is your answer, then what are you going to do? Look at your neighbor and say, get some stones. Because you're getting ready to go to battle. If you're really getting ready to go to battle, then what you should be doing is finding yourself some resources, some tools that it would take to take down this giant in my life. I hate when a person have resources before them that comes from the source. Who's the source? The source is God. So he give you a channel. So now you have many channels in your life that can help you, that can see you and advance you, but yet you don't want to do it. Yeah. David did not go before Goliath empty-handed. I think it was very interesting that David went in the shepherd, but he came out before Saul, the warrior. No. Some people argue that. No. He can't. Why? Because he was a warrior before he went to Saul. Because he would have never went to Saul if he never had the warrior mentality. So therefore, before you encounter your next battle, before you go and encounter this Goliath in your life, realize that you are a warrior. So therefore, if you're a warrior, I have been trained. I might not take everything else that everybody else take. They might take the oil. They might take their prayer shawls. Hey, you might not know. They might take their whole praise team when they're going to the hospital to pray for one person who only have a hangnail. All you got to take is yourself. All you got to take sometimes is just a word in your belly. And you should be able to take down giants that are tormenting the people of God based off the little that you got. I wish y'all would catch this. The problem is that if you don't have the winning mentality, you feel that the little that you're about to take is not enough. I come to understand that David, he picked up what he needed before he decided to transition towards Goliath. But then the Bible tells us that he actually made haste his way towards Goliath, meaning that he didn't take his time. You could tell that David wasn't scared. David made his way there quickly. I wish y'all catch this. The problem is that we want to run from our problem and we see it. So we say we'll take our time approaching it. We'll take our time. So we have the mindset of if I take my time, maybe it'll go away. But what is ending up happening is that you are not approaching your problems. You allow your problems to approach you too quickly. Yes. Those people that's on your job that's doing it, they're approaching you too quickly. You're not approaching quick enough. The demons in your life, they're approaching you too quickly. You're not approaching them quick enough. I come to understand that when we look at the art of war by Sun Tzu, we come to understand that he said one of the greatest attacks is when your enemies don't expect it. How many? The problem is that we tell everybody and we tell our sidelines, our plays, and the sidelines are the ones that are out there telling. Oh, y'all ain't catching this. They're telling the enemy what we're gonna do. You know, we watched this movie, and it's called Olympus Has Fallen. It was a very good movie, and what you saw it, a very good movie. I tell you to get it. That's a great movie night. And what happened in this movie? I ain't giving you the movie, but what you come to find out, there's a traitor. And the traitor was the same person that protected the president. So I think it's very interesting that the traitor was one of the people that was in the closest circle of the person that he betrayed. So now I'm coming to tell you that you have Judas in your lives also. What's your problem? Why are you acting all like you don't know what's happening? The problem is that you allowed them to approach you too quickly because you trusted too much. So now I have sideline people who have not proven themselves to be for me. They have not proven themselves to be roots in my life, and I have just given them the credibility that they didn't even deserve. So now they walk behind me, and as I lay hands, they wave so people can see their rings. I come to tell you, that's all they can do, because a sideline player, they not too secure in their skills. Why? Because all they get to do is play 30 seconds of a game. So now, at the end of the season, I think this is one of the most humiliating things. They say, when they start reading our stats, they say, yes, this person had a total of 3 minutes playing time in the full season. That's your sideline. But the problem is that we place the sideline so a person who is inadequate and who should never had more than 3 minutes of our time, we gave them years of our time. I wish y'all catch this. They were the sideline. A person who should have never had no more than 50 seconds of our time, they gave them months of our time. So now you fighting the same old devil. Why? Because you have the inadequate people who are trying to work with you. So now we have the sideline. And when we begin to work with these sideline players, I think it was very interesting that the Bible told us that the people, and said they went and they rehearsed before Saul. That means they sat there and they told Saul, Saul, what do you think? Saul said, well, if he want to go, let him go. Ain't it funny that the person that you trying to protect is the same person who don't really even trust in you? Ain't it funny that the same people that you trying to fend for, they're the same people that are going to argue with you? The same people you trying to help come out of their mess, they the same people that are be the first people to attack you. Ain't it very funny? Oh, y'all don't believe it? Y'all don't know the story of David and Saul? Saul tried to kill David. The very same person that you tried to attack, protect their integrity, you tried to protect their name, they are the same people who want to kill you. They're the same people who want to backstab you. They the same people that don't even like you, to be totally honest with you, because they see the glory on your life. The funny thing is, the Bible told you, Jesus said, don't worry, the poor are always the me among you. What he's telling you, you'll always have some people who are poor in spirit. You'll always have some sideline players. Why? Because all they expect to do is sit. They don't expect to work. They don't expect to do anything. The problem is that we are investing too much time in our sideline, and we're beginning to lose our key players. I'm so tired of churches investing in people who are not anointed for that calling, but yet you have a person who is anointed and you are scared of their glory. You're scared of their anointing. So now you want to sit them back in the back and tell them you ain't ready yet. Well, boo-boo, tell me when I'm going to be ready, because quite frankly, I feel that I'm even ready right now. Well, no, you're not ready right now. You got a little more cultivation to do, and a little more turn into 5 years. But then when you come in 5 years, oh, you got a little more cultivation to do. Tell me when is a little more, because obviously our terms of a little is not the same. I would have never sat here for so long if I knew you were going to kill me spiritually because you saw the glory of God on my life. Look at your neighbor and say, Olympus has fallen. The very same people that you have incorporated to protect you, they're the same people who are going to send you to battle but try to kill you after you come and win the battle. Look at your neighbor and say, Olympus has fallen. I think it's very interesting that the president tried to kill the bodyguard. It wasn't the bodyguard trying to kill the president. What do you mean? I'm telling you, when you look at Olympus has fallen, it was vice versa. But in the story of David, Saul was the president, David was the bodyguard. He tried to kill the bodyguard. So you took your job, you took your focus off of your job just to focus on me. That shows you that I'm an all-star player, baby. Because only all-star players get real attention. Y'all ain't catching it. Look at your neighbor and say, have you got somebody's attention today? Because if you got someone's attention, then why aren't they talking about you? If you got somebody's attention, then why aren't they persecuting you? Because I come to understand when they persecute me, talk about me, roll their eyes at me, laugh at me, all they're doing is cultivating me for another win. Look at your neighbor and say, Goliath is coming down. I think it's very interesting because now he said he delivered me from the hand, from the paw of the lion. He delivered me from the paw of the bear. Now the Lord shall deliver me out of the hand of the Philistine. There's some things that are placed in your life that God will deliver you from. All he just requires for you to do is go. There is no strategy how you're going to win. There is no strategy how it's going to outcome. But all you know, you have the assurance that God shall deliver me. The problem is that we try to strategize too much to where we strategize God out of the plan. The problem is that some of the best plays that were created were not plays that were written down on the books. They were plays that were created out of thin air. Do you think the alley-oop was created by somebody, the coach said, what I want you to do is throw the ball and let this person do it? No, what happened was somebody threw the ball, came up too short, and the other person was right there, and they were jumping midair while the ball was flying. So I cover you where you falling off. My God. It wasn't written down. It was nothing like that. It was not, there was no acrobatics to this or all that. No, if we want to do all this, let's sit there and make a calculus of how you have to jump. If the wind perception is this, then you have to make sure that you jump to this side. And we got to make sure if you're going in this direction that you have to have this, because the goal is this far off the ground. So that, no, it didn't take all that. Sometimes all it takes is for me just to go. Play the game. And if you can't play the game, then you will never get the glory. If you never played the game, then all you were created to be was a sideline player. Look at your neighbor and say, are you a sideline player? Or are you an all-star? All-stars, they get ridiculed. I think it's very interesting. The all-stars are on the news more. If you cough the wrong way and you're an all-star, people are going to talk about you. But the same person who's on the sideline, he done slept with prostitutes, he done did all this, he done went there, he done did this, he done did that, but nobody will mention that. But let me fall short one day. Because I'm an all-star, I got too much attention. So if I got too much attention, then I might as well let them see me doing something good. Let them see me doing something productive. And since you got attention, and since you got all their attention, then let them see you flourish. The problem is that we don't want attention, but you were created to be an all-star. The attention automatically comes with the territory. So now we come to understand that in our lives, we have Goliaths, we have Davids, but we have the army of people who make it seem that they have it all together. We have the army of the people who make it seem that they are really prepared to do some things that they're really not prepared to do. So now I come to admonish you on today to think, am I really a Goliath, or am I really the person who's doing the terrorizing, or am I really a David? Am I the one who's going to slay down the Goliath in my life? Am I the one who's going to slay down the Goliath wherever I go? Am I going to be the one who stands on integrity just because they're God's people? I come to tell you, David probably did not know one person in the army's name, but all he came to find out is that they were connected to God. And if they're connected to God, then that's enough. That's fine by me. That's enough. That's all I need to hear. That God had his hands on them. And if God has his hands on them, you can't treat them in that kind of way. Therefore, I'm going to fend for the people who can't fight for themselves, even if that means you're attacking me. I'm going to tell the people, thus says the Lord, even if that means you're going to ridicule my name. I'm going to do it because God said they are his people. And being that I'm an all-star player, I'm used to everybody giving me their attention. You can't give the wrong person too much attention because they can't handle it. If you give the wrong person too much attention, then they get big-headed. If you give the wrong person too much attention, they forgot they were on the sideline. So when they were equipped and cultivated to really be an all-star player, then they got big-headed and they felt like they didn't have to listen to you no more. When you give the people the little that it takes for them to succeed, sometimes they forgot that you were one of the people who labor with them. When you give people some things that it takes to make it to the next level of glory, sometimes they just forget. I come to tell you today that everybody in this place is an all-star player. You're an all-star player. God has called you to be an intricate part. You're not a sideline player. You're not a person who just rides on the coattail. You have been called to do a work. Now I ask you today, are you going to wait to do the work, or are you going to start working? There's Goliath in your life. Goliath don't die. Goliath don't stop tormenting your life until you attack. Stand to your feet.